Hello, Sleepless Void. Today I want to talk about books that genuinely changed my life. I don't mean they were just like so good that it's just a life-changing book. I mean like there's actually actionable steps or tangible results from reading these books. And these are like throughout my lifetime. Usually you won't notice a difference within a couple of months of reading it, but these ones have stuck with me over time, and I can see where things changed and how it affected me. And you know, maybe you've read these books and they haven't affected you in the same way. Maybe you could reread them with a more open mind or burn them, whatever floats your boat. The first book I want to talk about, which I've already talked about in another video, but I'll probably never shut up about it, is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, which it's in the title. It's life-changing. Duh. For those of you who aren't familiar, Kondo, who also has a tidying TV show now, is a Japanese organizer, I guess. She helps people get rid of things in a way that other minimalism things don't. Because it's not really about minimalism. I think people mistake that a lot with KonMari, the KonMari method. It's not about minimalism, it's about only having things that spark joy. And yes, this book is totally cheesy and kind of woo-woo, and the concepts are a little out there, like thanking each item as you get rid of it. I don't do that. I read the book, I thought she was wacky, but there were certain parts of it that resonated with me, and those parts I decided to keep in my life because they sparked joy. Like the phrase sparking joy, actually, I think I apply that to a lot more things now, not just about tidying or keeping things or getting rid of things. Like when I'm eating something, am I eating it because it sparks joy or because it's just there, right? So that's been helping with my diet lately, which down 16 pounds now. Just even like a simple phrase from a book can be life-changing. And the other thing from this book that really resonated with me was being able to let go of sentimental things and things that have been gifted to you. Particularly gifts, because when I receive a gift, I always feel obligated to hold on to it, even if I don't like it, and it just sits there mocking me, and I just end up resenting it. I mean, it's probably obvious that the person who gave me the gift didn't mean to make me feel that way, but it didn't really hit home for me until I read the book, and it described, oh, when you give a gift to someone, it's because you want them to be happy, and if it makes them unhappy, you wouldn't want them to hold on to it, right? You would want that item to go somewhere where it will be loved. So, you know, donating or regifting is great. People don't spend money to have something sitting there torturing you in your closet, and if they do, they're probably not a nice person, so you don't need to hold on to it. And I don't know why it took me so long to realize that, but just having it laid out for me in this book has allowed me to let go of so much more and feel more relaxed in my home instead of hoarding gifts that I never wanted in the first place. The second book is It Love or Is It Addiction by Brenda Schaeffer. And this one I read late in college, and I had gotten to this point. I was a serial monogamist, and you know, I was just dating one guy after another, and you know, when I date, I put my whole heart and soul into it, and it was always like, oh, I love him, and then I would be heartbroken and just crestfallen when things didn't work out. And it got to this point where I was just, it became more of an obsession with the idea of love than actually being in love. I was making each person out to be more than what they really were because I had these grand ideas of love. And I think a lot of women, especially, and men, but you know, we have the Disney princess syndrome where like this our whole life is dedicated to finding a man to save us or whatever. And I know Disney isn't like that anymore, but you know, the era that I grew up in, like, yeah, you try to look pretty and get married. What else is a woman good for? What other uses does a woman have? And it took me a long time to realize that I'm my own person. And yes, now I am married, but I read, I have hobbies, I work, I raise children, I cook and clean, yes, but I also am so much more. You know, I went to college, okay? I feel like I wouldn't have gotten to where I was without reading this book, because it goes into depth about, you know, why you're feeling certain ways. I mean, a lot of it is self-explanatory, but again, just having it laid out for you, I think really helps set it in stone in your heart and your mind. The third book is specifically for parents. It's the Montessori Toddler, which just goes into detail about how to raise children in the Montessori style. And prior to reading it, I was kind of interested in Montessori. I wasn't really sure what it was, but I kept hearing the word thrown around, and I hear about these other parenting methods. I guess there's like Waldorf or let kids be kids or that sort of thing. And I won't say that I follow Montessori 100%. I'm definitely like a semi-Montessori parent, but this book continues to help me remain grounded and understand how to connect with my children and how to help them be independent people. The next book, okay, I don't know if it's really life-changing because I read it really recently, but it has given me a skill that I've tried to get in the past that I haven't been able to. It is The Lost Art of Handwriting by Brenna Jordan. I know that sounds silly for handwriting to be life-changing, but I've tried all these classes and books and worksheets and just online YouTube videos for calligraphy and handwriting, and my whole life I've had just kind of average handwriting. I won't say it's bad, but it's never been pretty. And I never realized it was largely due to the way I hold a pen, because I was born left-handed and forced to switch to right-handedness kind of in early elementary school. And so I hold a pen really weird. And it turns out you can't do calligraphy with that pen hold. Who knew? But this book, it just had this really great intro section that helped me understand what I was doing wrong and how I could fix it. And then it has a lot of practice, and you can just trace over the letters, or it has sections where you can just write it all out. And honestly, it's the best handwriting book I've tried, and I've tried a lot. So I guess that's why it's life-changing to me, is that like it finally made a big breakthrough on something that I've been trying to do for so long. Oh, the next one is a favorite that I actually haven't finished reading, but I probably should soon, which is Your Beauty Mark by Dita von Teese. And I picked it up when I was living with my in-laws a couple of years ago from the library. And it was just so inspiring. I was feeling so down about myself, and I'm in a constant state of identity crisis. Even now, I'm still like, who am I? What am I? What should I be doing? But this book just helped me understand my own authenticity and what that actually means to me. She just has a way of talking about things that makes you want to make the world that's in your head rather than just living in the outside world. Like, it's okay to be different, it's okay to be unique, and it's lovely. You can be lovely, even though, you know, in the real world people may not see you that way. If you just live that way for yourself, that's enough. And once you start living that way for yourself, other people will start to see it, and they'll start seeing you how you want to be rather than how they think you are or how they think you should be. Part of this YouTube thing is me trying to find my authentic self and be who I want to be rather than who I feel forced to be. And yeah, maybe that means pink hair and satin gowns, sitting in a closet. But, I mean, if it makes you happy, go for it. Do what you feel is you. It's also just really pretty. There's lots of pictures, and she's just such a diva in the best sense of the word. Okay, the next one is from ages ago, and it's kind of embarrassing to say how much this changed my life, but it's Sailor Moon by Naoko Takeuchi. Both the show and the manga I watched and read as a young child, and the reason it's life-changing is because I based my entire personality on Sailor Moon. I mean, going back to earlier, like, wanting to get married, like, that was... you can look this up. Sailor Moon's favorite colors are pink and white. Her birthday is June 30th. Her least favorite food is carrots. Her favorite food is either ice cream or donuts. Her dream is to be a bride. She's good at video games. And I feel a little bit, aside from the birthday, like I'm describing myself, because that's who I made myself in a weird way. She was my hero. She was the superhero for me, and I based so much of my personality, even my favorite color, on Sailor Moon. So it's hard for me to differentiate between what is truly me and what is from Sailor Moon. That's just sticking around still. Like, you know, my favorite color is still pink. Would it be different without Sailor Moon? I don't know. I really have no idea. Although nowadays I feel more like a Sailor Jupiter or Sailor Mercury maybe. It turns out I'm good at math and cooking, so that's not like Sailor Moon at all. And that's nice to find out about myself, is you know, those are things that I know are me. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, I wouldn't not have Sailor Moon in my life. It's been magical for me. And the last book I want to talk about is The Glass Castle by Jeanette. And this one is actually a memoir about this woman who grew up, you know, kind of in deserts across the US with this crazy family. She ends up in New York and becoming a writer, and it's a bit dark at times. For some people it's a hard read, but, well, and it's a movie now. But for me, it was so similar to my childhood in so many ways. Just, I remember my stepdad panning for gold and, like, investing in weird machines to try and find gold in the desert. So so many aspects of the book resonated with me, and because it is a memoir and the author became a writer, it gives me hope. It gives me hope in ways that a lot of other things couldn't. I was actually gifted this book in high school by my English teacher, who I was a student aide for. I had read another book by Jeanette, I think Cherry, but that one was a little different. I still found it relevant, but not as much as The Glass Castle. And I think it just helped me it helped me get onto a trajectory of success. Even if I'm not like a big successful writer right now, I mean, I'm still barely starting a book. I feel like it's possible, you know? You can start out as a poor girl with a crazy family and become so much more. So that's what I'm hoping to bring into the new year as well, and throughout life, you know? I'm just so thankful for all of these books that have affected me in all of these different, both positive and negative ways, but I think mostly positive. To let me know in the comments what books have affected you and which one of these you've read or hated or loved. Yeah, I'd just love to know your thoughts and your stories. Anyway, like and subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you next time.